Codependency is a hidden epidemic that has the power to destroy our relationships and our sense of self-worth. And I'm not just talking about romantic relationships here. This can also affect our relationships with family, friends, and others. It can create an unhealthy power imbalance where one person becomes the giver and the other the taker, a dynamic that only breeds resentment in relationships. When you're constantly prioritizing other people's needs over your own, you're sending yourself a subconscious message that you're less important. In this video, I'm going to explain what codependency is and how you can recognize it with 7 important signs. Codependency is a dysfunctional relationship pattern where one person excessively relies on another for their sense of self-worth and identity. It's like being emotionally handcuffed to someone else's well-being. Melody Beattie, in her book Codependent No More, describes it as a behavioral condition in a relationship where one person enables another person's addiction, poor mental health, immaturity, irresponsibility, or underachievement. Ooh, yikes. Basically, codependency is about losing yourself in the process of trying to save, fix, or control others. So here are 7 signs you might be codependent. Number 1, poor boundaries. Healthy relationships have clear lines between where one person ends and the other begins. But for codependents, these lines are blurry or non-existent. This can manifest in a few ways, including difficulty saying no to people, feeling responsible for other people's feelings, or allowing others to take advantage of your kindness. As a result, codependents often struggle to maintain their individuality and personal space within relationships. Number 2, control issues. Codependents often try to control people and situations around them, usually out of insecurity or fear of abandonment. This might look like offering unsolicited advice constantly, trying to change or fix others, or feeling anxious when things don't go as planned. Codependents tend to feel that the more they are needed, the more they are valued. Number 3, constantly seeking reassurance. Do you love me? Are you mad at me? If you find yourself asking these questions a lot, it might be a sign of codependency. Codependents often seek constant reassurance from others as a means of validation, relying on external approval rather than cultivating their own sense of self-worth. Number 4, conflict avoidance. People who are codependent often go to great lengths to avoid disagreements or confrontations. This can look like agreeing with others to please them even when you don't actually mean it, or suppressing your own needs or avoiding topics to keep the peace. Number 5, excessive caretaking. Being a caring and kind person is a great quality in any relationship, but having a compulsive need to rescue and take responsibility for others, not so much. Codependents tend to put others' needs and problems before their own, so often that they neglect their own self-care in the process. It's like being a superhero, but one who forgets that they need to charge their own batteries once in a while, which leads to burnout. Number 6, disconnect with your own feelings. This is another one that often goes unnoticed. When you spend an enormous amount of time and energy focused on other people, you forget to check in with yourself. This makes it even easier to suppress your own needs and prioritize those of others. All of these signs often lead to, number 7, low self-esteem. Codependents often base their worth on the approval of others or their ability to help others. The poor boundaries, control issues, need for external validation, disconnect with feelings, all of these habits create an environment full of fear and uncertainty, which is a breeding ground for self-doubt and low self-esteem. It's a vicious cycle. Low self-esteem fuels codependent behaviors, which in turn reinforce the low self-esteem. It's like being stuck on an emotional merry-go-round that you can't seem to get off of. Breaking free from this cycle starts with recognizing your inherent worth as a person, regardless of what others think or how much you do for them. Did any of these signs of codependency resonate with you or someone you know? Let me know in the comments. Also, subscribe to my channel to help keep the existential dread at bay. Please.